Hello, everyone. Welcome in here to Trending Politics Live. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd. Want to welcome everyone for coming in here and thank you guys all for joining me today. I am pulling up the comments right now. I'll wait a couple more seconds for everyone to join in. We got a lot to cover. A lot of big news is happening. A lot of big things are happening, everyone. So I want to dive into this here in just a minute, okay? Let me know where you're commenting from, where you're coming in from, everyone. Let me see where you guys are all commenting from. Okay, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. We're going to wait another 10 seconds, and then we're going to get started on our first topic. Welcome in, guys. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. Let me know how you guys are doing in the chat. Let me know where you're from. All right, we are going to get started. Here we go, guys. So, the first topic up here on the docket today is Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is at it again, folks. She is now still pushing this myth, and she is now going on CNN and calling the coronavirus the Trump virus. Watch what she says, and then we are not only going to analyze it, but then we are going to debunk her claim with a very simple timeline. I'm going to play you this clip and then we'll go for it.
It is a pandemic that has gotten worse before it will get better because of his inaction. And in fact, clearly, it is the Trump virus.
Well, what do you mean when you say the Trump virus?
The Trump virus. If he had said months ago, let's wear masks, let's socially distance instead of having rallies and political whatever they were, then more people would have followed his lead as the President of the United States, instead of being a bad example, making it like a manhood thing not to wear a mask. So in any event, it was weird because a briefing on the coronavirus should be about science, and that is something the President has ignored. It should be about governance, and now he's finally embracing saying, okay, it's okay to wear a mask. So I think a good deal of what we have suffered is clearly the Trump virus.
So what you're saying...
Okay, everyone. So as many of you guys are commenting there, and I see it here, I finally got the comments working. I want you to really take in what she just said. She just said that all of this is basically Trump's fault. For number one, because he wasn't super high on masks back a couple months ago. And then she's saying that, well, action could have been taken earlier. But do you know what? President Trump on January 31st banned all travel from China. Now, yes, people say, well, people still came in after that. That is true. But you have to remember that these are people who were mostly American citizens or green card holders, people whose permanent residence was here in the United States. How cruel would it be if you're saying that nobody should have been able to be coming from China? Then basically you're arguing that our own citizens could not come back home in the middle of a very scary pandemic, especially in those early days in March. The fear factor was at an all-time high. But President Trump stopped travel from China on January 31st. Does anyone else in the comments want to remind me what the Democrats were doing in late January? I think we all know, you guys. They were impeaching President Trump. They didn't care about the coronavirus. They did not care about the coronavirus until it was politically advantageous for them. And furthermore, do you guys want to see something that's even more damaging? Not only were they pushing impeachment in late January and early February, but also in late February, Nancy Pelosi encouraged all San Francisco residents to come out to Chinatown and have a good time. And you know how she was just complaining about Trump not recommending masks? Look at what Nancy Pelosi is not wearing, talking to people very closely. Guys, take a look at this.
Exciting to be here, especially at this time.
This is late February.
To be able to be unified with our community. We want to be vigilant about what it might be on what is out there in other places. We want to be careful about how we deal with it. But we do want to say to people, come to Chinatown. Here we are. We're, again, careful, safe, and come join us.
So there you guys have it. On January 31st, President Trump banned travel from China. A week before that, he was assembling his task force. A month later, Nancy Pelosi was saying, hey, come out to Chinatown. Come out and have a good time. She's not wearing a mask, was she? Now, here's another part about this all. Is this going to debunk the Trump virus forever? And I'm going to make a long-form YouTube video about it a little bit later this week. But you guys have to remember is that on February 18th, Dr. Fauci said that the risk is low to the American public. On February 29th, Dr. Fauci said that there is nothing you need to do to the American people. There's nothing you need to do in your day-to-day lives, anything different. February 29th, you guys. And on March 9th, Dr. Fauci said, if you're young and healthy and if you want to go on a cruise, go on a cruise. So this man is an infectious disease expert. And in mid-March, he was telling people that, hey, if you want to go on a cruise, feel free to go on a cruise. And he later on says, I wouldn't go on a cruise because I don't like cruises. But that's Dr. Fauci's personal opinion. But you have one of the leading health experts that the Democrats love to love, which is Dr. Fauci. But whenever he says something that could be construed as negative about Trump, they love him. But whenever he says something positive about Trump, they just ignore him. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And not only that, but Dr. Fauci in an April 14th press conference said that President Trump took every recommendation we give him. So the left can no longer have it both ways, people, and we can't let them get away with this. Either Trump doesn't listen to the experts or he does, because you have the experts saying, guys, he listened to us. He followed the directions. Even though there was going to be some adverse consequences, President Trump listened to the health recommendations as soon as we gave it to him. So the left has to really stop playing this game. So I encourage you guys all to go to the Trending Politics YouTube channel after this stream. And some of you guys are watching this on YouTube. And we're going to be and make sure to subscribe because I'm putting together a full long form YouTube video about this whole situation, about Nancy Pelosi, about Dr. Fauci, about when Trump acted, when he didn't, or when he acted, the timeline of events, and everything else that happened. Okay. So everyone, this next story is deep, and I'm gonna try to code my language in a careful way because I don't want this stream to get taken down or I don't want this stream to get banned. However, Twitter has now come out and banned all talk about QAnon. Now, that's the last time I'm going to say that. I'm just going to refer to it as Q from this point on. Some of you guys don't know exactly what that is, but let me just give you the gist of it. Is that there are these people who have been calling out the elites, calling out people for disgusting acts, whether it was against Jeffrey Epstein and the stuff that he was involved in, and many things that had to do with children, okay? Trying to be careful here with how I word things on a live stream. So Twitter just announced this, and I'm going to post this up here. It says, we have been clear that we will take strong enforcement action on behavior that has potential lead to offline harm. We'll get to more of that later. In line with this approach, this week we are taking further action on so-called QAnon activity across the service. It says we will permanently suspend accounts tweeting about these topics that we know are engaged in violations of our multi-account policy, and they go on with some other stuff. But here's the main point of what they're going to crack down on. In addition, we will no longer serve content and accounts associated with that word in trends and recommendations. Number two, they will work to ensure we're not highlighting this activity in search and conversations. And number three, they're going to block all URLs associated with that word from being shared on Twitter. Now, the hypocrisy here is absolutely astounding. Let's take a look at this timeline of events. 1 week ago, Chrissy Teigen, the celebrity lady that I never really paid much attention to before. I don't even know what she's good at. Apparently she's on a couple shows, but some of her old tweets resurfaced. And let me just show you a couple of them. Now, she got called out for them. Okay, let me show you what she tweeted. So this is just an example of one of her tweets from years ago. Chrissy Teigen said, and I quote, "I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid." She's watching a television show, and she said, "I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid." Think about that. She tweeted that. She also tweeted, "Seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just, I want to put myself in jail." This is Chrissy Teigen talking. So these tweets surfaced and went viral, and she blamed these Q conspirators to say, hey, you guys are calling me out for false things, although she has a very shady past. She has connections that I won't mention on here because, again, I'm trying to make sure that the stream doesn't get taken down or that the replay doesn't get taken down. But always remember is that these tweets came up, and then she called out these Q supporters. And guess what? 1 week later, Twitter does a full-on ban of any conversations bringing this stuff up. So as soon as content that is called out that is sexualizing children, when that starts to take the front stage in the country, it gets shut down. It gets shut down by Twitter, the far left website, this far left social media site that has so much influence. And it is just absolutely disgusting. And so there's absolutely something going on here, and we need to be aware of it. We need to be aware. So remember the timeline and remember who has the real influence here on what gets said and what doesn't. A week ago, Chrissy Teigen's tweets go viral. She has a meltdown, blocks a crapload of accounts, makes her Twitter account private, and then calls out these Q supporters, or Q, whatever she calls them. And then just a week later, Twitter says, hey, you know what? We're going to ban all that conversation. So, guys, where the conversation is not banned is trendingpolitics.com. We're bringing on more people as well to contribute even more to the website. We do about 20 articles a day. Make sure every single day you're going to trendingpolitics.com. We're going to keep updating this as much as we can. There's a million news topics to cover, so we're getting to it all. But always go to trendingpolitics.com. And again, if you guys have a cell phone, if you have a mobile phone, go on your app store and download the Trending Politics app because we send push notifications. You get a lot of great updates there, okay? So that's that update, you guys. Some crazy things are happening here, and we need to call it out. And I'm further going to call out Twitter's hypocrisy. So we have some well-intended people who are calling out the sexualization of children, and Twitter bans these people. But look what they allow. So this guy right here, his name is Jack Morrissey. Do you guys remember, I believe it was 1.5 years or 2 years ago, that the Covington High School kids were on a trip, and there were protesters, I believe it was in D.C., they were wearing Make America Great Again hats, and a Native American man came up to their face and was taunting them. Well, this guy is a verified Twitter user named Jack Morrissey, and he tweeted this: MAGA kids go screaming hats first into the wood chipper. Into the wood chipper. Guess what this guy got? He got a slap on the wrist. No, don't do that. Don't do that. He got suspended for a couple days, but guess what? His account is there. It's public. He's still verified. And of course, his tweets are hidden and his account is protected. So this guy right here, Jack Morrissey, is allowed to be on Twitter after saying MAGA kids go screaming hats first into the wood chipper. And there's a picture of someone entering a literal wood chipper with blood squirting out. Does anyone see a double standard here, you guys? Does anyone see this disgusting double standard? Makes me literally sick to my stomach when I see this. So they will not let you call out Chrissy Teigen and things that she's tweeting out. And somehow we're the conspiracy theorists when she's tweeting things that are absolutely disgusting. Let me put it up again, everyone. I really want to drive this point home. She straight up said, this is Chrissy Teigen talking. Just check out what she said. So she can tweet this. Sorry, I'm still getting my directions down. She can tweet this, but and be okay, but we can't question what that is. And furthermore, leftist celebrities can tweet, hey, put those MAGA kids in the wood chipper hats first, and nothing happens to them. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if a right-wing celebrity said, put the snowflakes in a wood chipper and head first? We would be banned for life. We'd be banned for life. So once again, I tell you that where the conversation is not censored is trendingpolitics.com. Make sure that you're always hanging out over there with us. Okay, guys? So the next topic today, there's a little bit of a weird controversy going on right now in Twitter. Last night, there was this awkward moment on the handoff between Tucker Carlson's show and Sean Hannity. And I'm going to play that clip first, and then I'm going to give you the context, because it's really weird. You have people all on Twitter right now taking sides, and people saying, Tucker Carlson is for the working man, and Sean Hannity's for the elite. And that's not the case at all. Like, this is really a big, nothing of a controversy. And I want to know if you guys saw this on Fox News, but I want you to take a look at this super awkward moment. At the very least, we got a great new Tucker Carlson meme face that you're about to see. So let's watch this moment, and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit more and then give you the full context.
Great night. And now, Sean Hannity takes over from New York.
People can make money. They provide goods and services people want, need, and desire. That's America. It's called freedom, capitalism, and as long as it's honest, right? People decide. All right, Tucker, great show. Welcome to Hannity.
So did you guys see Tucker Carlson's face when he said that? He goes, he like looked to the side like, what did you just say? So that was a little bit of an awkward moment. Let me give you guys the full context, okay? Tucker Carlson had just finished a segment about how Jeff Bezos, his wealth skyrocketed $13 billion in one day on Monday. Now, what Tucker Carlson left out, to be fair, is that the reason why Jeff Bezos' wealth skyrocketed so much on that day is because Amazon's stock rose like 8%. So to be totally fair, if anyone has a 401k that's invested in the S&P 500, or if anyone owns a piece of the S&P 500, everyone benefited from Amazon skyrocketing that day. Jeff Bezos just happens to own the most Amazon shares. So naturally, his wealth skyrocketed by $13 billion in a day, because that's how the math stacks up. I mean, some people made $20,000 that day. Some people made $5,000 that day. It doesn't matter. It just depends on how much. So the way Tucker positioned it could have been a little better. But Tucker Carlson's main criticism was that Jeff Bezos is a liberal. He's getting filthy rich in a pandemic. And the Democrat politicians don't care because he is a liberal. But if he was conservative, they would be losing their minds. So I'm going to keep breaking this down a little bit, but I think this is important to talk about, because you have people on Twitter now trashing Hannity saying, oh, you're for the elites, you're for the rich, when he's really not. So I'm going to play Tucker's mini segment on it. It's less than a minute long. And then we'll keep talking about that again. Okay, you guys? Here we go.
The coronavirus shutdowns, whether they were necessary or not, have indisputably crushed huge
and
parts
turn your
of
volume
the
up if you can't hear
economy.
it.
Millions of Americans remain out of work. Many more are draining their savings once the government stops paying a huge portion of the population to stay at home. We don't know what will happen. But at least one person has become extremely rich, richer than any man in history, from all of this, including a lot of the suffering. That would be Amazon CEO, Democratic donor, owner of the Washington Post, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, just yesterday, made $13 billion. Now, 20 years ago, if that had happened, if a captain of industry had made $13 billion in a single day while the country got poorer, the Democratic Party would have had something to say about it. Not anymore, because the people getting rich are members of the Democratic Party. Chadwick Moore is not. He's an editor at Spec.
Okay, so then he brings on a guest and they go on for a little bit. But so Tucker there is talking about how he gained his wealth, again, $13 billion in a day. Now, he made it sound a little sinister, like he's getting rich in the middle of a pandemic. Listen, I'm no fan of Jeff Bezos politically, but millions of people use Amazon every day, and it is convenient when you can't go to the store, when you don't want to go out in the middle of a pandemic, or you don't want to do whatever, to order your things on Amazon. So that's not totally his fault, but Tucker's main criticism was the fact that Democrats are just brushing it off, when if this was a conservative getting filthy rich, they would be absolutely losing their minds. So now let's watch that awkward moment again in context, because Sean Hannity has tweeted about this, saying, look, guys, I wasn't talking about people being taken advantage of during a pandemic. I was just defending entrepreneurship in general. So let's watch that awkward clip again, and then now that we know the full context.
Good night. Now, Sean Hannity takes over from New York.
People can make money. They provide goods and services people want, need, and desire. That's America. It's called freedom, capitalism, and as long as it's honest, right? People decide. All right, Tucker, great show. Welcome to Hannity.
So, again, we have a brand new Tucker Carlson meme, everyone. It's just very simple. That's going to be the new meme going forward. Get ready for it because it's about to be all over Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. But so now we have it in full context. And Sean Hannity has tweeted, look, I was just given my earpiece a minute before we went live. And Tucker Carlson didn't even see the full part of that segment, but they were just railing on the fact that, Jeff Bezos was getting, rich in the middle of the pandemic. So Sean Hannity thought that in a way they were trashing someone's success, which they weren't really. They were just calling out the hypocrisy of the Democrats for not caring that the owner of the Washington Post, who's a staunch liberal, that guy is getting rich when if this was a Republican or a conservative, they would be absolutely losing it. Okay, guys? So in the comments below, let me know what you guys think about this. I personally don't think this should even be a controversy because now you have all these people on Twitter saying, oh man, see Tucker Carlson for 2024. And hey, I'm for that. I love Tucker Carlson. But they're saying, Sean Hannity, you're about the elites. You're establishment. No, he's not. He's called out the establishment like crazy. He has called out the establishment so much. And so I don't think we need to be attacking, creating sides here, you guys. Like we're going to need to be on top of it and united if we're going to be the Democrats in November. So right now, guys, I'm going to just do a couple of very quick little topics. I'm not going to go into too much depth here, but do you guys remember how the Democrats were so against hydroxychloroquine? Hydroxychloroquine was pushed by President Trump. Now, why was it pushed by President Trump? Because it had positive test results. It had positive results in lab studies overseas, and it had very good anecdotal benefits here. It had very good benefits here when people used it. But guess what? The media didn't care. Now, why didn't they care? Is because even if something will save a life, the Democrats value Trump being wrong over lives being saved. So, a brand new Yale epidemiology professor has now said that hydroxychloroquine could save up to 100,000 lives if used for the coronavirus. Okay? Now, that's all great, but I'm looking back over the last 3 months. I'm looking at the thousands of people whose lives weren't saved because it wasn't used. I want to show you how this ladder works. Okay? Trump was on board with hydroxychloroquine. The media immediately attacks him, pushes fake news about it. So therefore, the governors of the states said, you know what, it's too controversial, we're not going to use it because of the fake news media. So then the governors say, hey, we're not going to buy any, we're not going to use it. Therefore, the patients don't get it. So therefore, in my opinion, the media absolutely has blood on their hands because they cared more about Trump not being right. They would rather people die, literally. Now, guys, we've all said this for years. We've all said that, hey, the media doesn't care about people. But now we have absolute proof that the media would rather people die than for Trump to be right about something. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. That is the state of which our politics are at. And it's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, you guys. So the last thing I want to talk about before I get into the last couple of topics here is you guys all remember the McCloskeys, right? These people have become nationwide icons for anyone who loves the Second Amendment and who believes in our ability to bear arms, right? To defend our homes, to defend our families, if needed, with firearms. Well, not only did they have their guns confiscated from them, but now they have charges being filed against them. Charges are being filed against them. These prosecutors are so political. These people did nothing wrong. And now they strip them of their rights. And my whole point is this right now, you guys. This couple has become a meme, literally, right? Like, I can guarantee that there are people who are going to go out dressed as these guys for Halloween this year. You can guarantee it, okay? If they can take their guns and they know that there's going to be an uproar, they know that on social media there's going to be thousands of tweets, thousands of articles written about it, what makes you think that they're not going to do this for everyday people who are not somewhat celebrities, who are not on Fox News, who are not public figures in a way? The left always says, we don't want to take your guns. But when the guns aren't even used forcefully with these people, they just had them to show, hey, don't mess with us. Even just having them, these people have now gotten their guns confiscated, and now they have gotten now they are having charges filed against them. Again, I ask you, if Joe Biden is elected, what is going to stop this happening to everyone? If they can do this to many celebrities, Twitter celebrities, and people who are now have become like a meme of what it is to defend your family with a firearm, just think about what they're going to do to everyday people, what they're going to do to people who are not icons, people who are not nationally known. These people have been on CNN. These people have been on Tucker Carlson. These people have been all over Fox News. They are being represented by big name lawyers. And not everyone has that advantage. But guess what? The authorities and the politicians still said, you know what? Take their guns. Even though and who knows, their names are more public than ever. So I would say that they need to protect themselves more than ever now. But guess what? Their Second Amendment rights were not respected. So that's my little rant on that, you guys. Just stay alert. Stay aware of what's happening here, okay? And really quick before I go, we're about to hit the 30-minute mark. I always like to keep these kind of short, around 30 minutes. One other thing I want to show you guys is I always like to try to leave these live streams off on a positive note, or at least a funny note. The action of what you're about to see is not necessarily funny, but it's funny that the caption that was posted. So as you guys all know, we're about to see the most amount of people ever in history kneel for the national anthem, disrespect our flag, our national anthem, the people who fought for our country, who died, who bled and died. And they don't, and the left doesn't even care, right? So the Cincinnati Reds had a game, or a practice game, and look what they tweeted out. They tweeted out a picture of 5 guys standing and 4 guys kneeling. I'm just going to wait for people to see the irony here. You see that? Unity. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. I don't see the unity here. I don't see the unity at all. I see more than half the people standing and less than half the people kneeling. I don't see, like, you guys, this is peak social justice warrior just BS right here. Unity. Using whatever they can to push a narrative. Like, it's almost disgusting about how much they are trying to push this narrative down our throats every single day. Trying to say that a picture with 4 guys kneeling for the national anthem is unity, when more people have died in the riots over the last month than who died in the tragic George Floyd incident. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And so I don't even know what to say about this. The irony here says it all. I mean, like, if I was a comedian, I wouldn't even need to make a joke. You just look at this tweet. These people are clearly not united. And more importantly, the people who are kneeling probably think that the people who are standing are racist, because now the NFL has told you, hey, if you stand for the national anthem, then you're not with our cause. Then you're not with our cause at all. So that is the new rules that has been set up here, you guys. And so I just wanted to share that there with you. But hey, every single person here, thank you guys all so much for being on these. We're still refining everything. Yesterday, the YouTube stream was not working as well. We got it working today. We got thousands of people on here across our different platforms. I really appreciate you guys. Please go to trendingpolitics.com all throughout the day. Make sure to refresh us all the time. We're bringing on new people, new staff, new writers. We're trying to bring the most content we possibly can. Make sure to go to our store, ilovemyfreedom.com. And that is where we have a bunch of great pro-Trump merchandise, hats, shirts, flags. We got some masks that, hey, if the Democrats are going to force us to wear masks, then you know what? Might as well piss them off in the process. We have some Trump 2020 masks. We got some Come Take It masks. A lot of good stuff there, guys. So go check us out at ilovemyfreedom.com. And just make sure, so every day we're going to be doing this live at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. I really enjoy always having you guys on here. I really thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. I love seeing you guys in here. I wasn't able to keep up with the comments because I always get really distracted and they always throws me off, but I'm seeing all the comments now and you guys are awesome. Thank you guys, everyone. I will be talking to you guys tomorrow, okay? Same time, 12 p.m. Pacific. Go have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys over at